Hello, I'm Dr. Becky Lynn. This is Rachael Lewis.
Hi.
And we are here today making ginger wasabi salmon burgers. I run Evora Women's Health, which is a full service, holistic, concierge women's health office. And we really focus on the woman as a whole. And that's how I ended up working with Rachael, who runs A Perfect Fit. You want to say a little bit about A Perfect Fit?
Yeah, so A Perfect Fit is a boutique nutrition concierge service. So basically we plan, prepare meals for you from the comfort of your own home. We have chefs on staff. So anything from meal planning to making your grocery list to actually coming to your home and preparing your meals for the week.
So I love it for my patients. We have a weight loss program, and I see so many busy professional women who just don't have time to cook or who really just don't like cooking. And so A Perfect Fit, they'll go to your house, they'll do your shopping for you, and then you can make several meals and freeze them for the week. So I think it's a fantastic service. So I love doing this cooking show. It's really fun.
Yeah, so today we're making salmon burgers with a wasabi mayo, and we will actually have both of the recipes available. I'll have it on my website, and then Dr. Becky, if you want to subscribe to her newsletter, she will be mailing it out as well. So if you watch this and you missed it the first time, the ingredients, feel free to reach out and we would be happy to send that over to you.
Yep. And if you want to sign up for the newsletter, it's on Evora, E V as in Victor, O-R-A, women.com. And you can sign up for our newsletter there. And we just send out lots of great health tips for women, from heart health, breast health, contraception, menopausal health. We cover it all.
That's awesome. I love that. I love the concierge aspect of having your doctor.
Well, the concierge aspect I think is great because we really spend time with our patients. When you see me, you get an hour with me. You can call me directly, you can email me, you can text me. I really focus on you and your overall health, both prevention, keeping you healthy as you move through life, but also if you have issues like hot flashes, night sweats, sexual problems, bone health, like we cover all those issues as well, but we also focus on prevention, which is where healthy eating and exercise come in.
Yeah, and I think I had posted something the other day that I thought was fascinating. It was about how the average doctor's visit, and it was specifically to an OBGYN, but I think it covers all doctor's visits for the most part. The average was 7 minutes. Yeah. And with Dr. Becky, how long do you spend with your patients?
60 minutes on that
first visit. A full hour.
Yeah, we go through everything. And part of the reason I do what I do is because I felt like 7 minutes was not enough to cover everything that's really important into women's health.
That's awesome. Well, let's go ahead and make some burgers.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with our salmon, and we have about 1.5 to 2 pounds of wild salmon, and I went ahead and cut it into 1-inch cubes. And we're going to go ahead and put this in our food processor and grind it up till it's about the consistency of a ground turkey or ground beef. And I did want to go over why we chose a wild salmon as opposed to a farm-raised salmon. And the difference is pretty huge. You can even see through the color of a salmon if you look at it. So wild-caught salmon is going to have more of a reddish color, whereas farm-raised is going to be a little pinker. And that's because of an antioxidant. And I wrote down the name so I wouldn't mess up the name, astaxanthin. Which actually gives it its red color, and it's a powerful antioxidant. And I thought it was fascinating that it's actually been proven to improve muscular endurance. Oh, so I know you're a runner.
Yeah, I'm a big runner. And
yeah,
I just naturally love salmon anyway. So good. That's
yeah,
nice. I love that.
So we'll go ahead and put this in our food processor. And salmon burgers are such a different recipe. I feel like a lot of people don't know that you can make salmon into a burger. Oh, these are all so tricky. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pulse it.
so easy to do that, just to make it round.
Yeah, and you want to make sure you don't over grind it though.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will be kind of a different consistency burger. So we're going to go ahead and kind of flip it around in here so we're getting those top pieces towards the bottom. It's not the prettiest sight.
But the color's pretty.
The color's pretty.
Anything colorful is good for you.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. Test it out. Little bit more. Almost there. This is a quiet food processor.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I'm just used to it, so.
This is a quiet one. All right, and that looks good.
I wonder if there's a way to do this if you didn't have a food processor. I don't know.
You could chop it up really small.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the other way you could do it, which would just take a little bit more time. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in a big mixing bowl. All of our yummy salmon.
So while we're here mixing the salmon, I just want to point out that salmon is really good for heart health. In our newsletter that I sent out with the recipe, I also sent a blog about the health benefits, the heart health benefits of oily fish. And it's recommended to eat oily fish each week. So things like, we've talked about this before, I think.
Yeah.
You know, things like salmon, things like tuna, things like sardines. And those are really good for your heart.
I love sardines, and I actually give my 1-year-old sardines all the time because same thing, they're a great brain health food as well. So especially with our little kids, getting them that extra omega-3s in their diet, that's a great tip.
Omega-3s are so important. Yeah. So, and you know, we think about fats sometimes and we're like, oh, fats are bad. Not true. There's good, healthy fats, and you need those healthy fats for your cell membranes. Every single cell has a membrane around it that's made up of fatty acids. And so you do need those healthy fats too. So they're not all bad.
No. I love that.
More colorful food here. Red peppers.
We've got red peppers. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is chop up about half a red pepper. And you want to chop it up pretty small because it is going to go in your burger. So I just sliced it into strips, and then I'm just cutting it up into little pieces. And then we'll go ahead and put our red pepper in the bowl with our salmon. Get a little messy here today. And we thought this would be a great spring summer recipe. So if you're having the girls over for a happy hour, you can go ahead and whip up a few of these, and you'll see it. They're really quick and really easy to make, which we love.
Yeah, definitely. Who has time to spend in the kitchen all day, unless you like doing that?
Yeah, some people do like doing that. And then we're gonna go ahead, and I already chopped up our garlic, but about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. And again, that's up to your preference. So I know personally, we both really like garlic, so I did a little extra for us, but feel free to do as you like. And we'll go ahead and pour that in our bowl as well.
It's really aromatic.
Does smell good.
Yes.
And then we've got 2 scallions right here. We're gonna go ahead and chop up the whole thing. Again, in pretty small pieces.
Now we're adding a little green to the mix.
We are, and I actually went, now that it's April, our local farmer's market is open. So I went and got a lot of these ingredients from a farmer's market, which is a great place to get your produce when it's in season because it is the closest to the source. Usually farmer's markets will source from a local farm. So the produce hasn't been sitting in a truck for a long time. I remember reading a statistic somewhere about maybe apples where they sat in trucks for months on end before they actually make it into a grocery store.
Really?
Yeah.
I love apples.
So go into your farmer's market. So we'll go ahead and throw those into our bowl as well.
And you know, when we make things, if you sign up for our newsletter, we'll send you the recipe in advance, and so you could make it with us. It's just something fun, kind of a group effort, and then you have food for dinner once we're done.
That's exactly what we're doing. This is our dinner for the day. Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and take our ginger, and I just grabbed a piece of ginger. You want about a 1 to 2 inch piece, and you'll go ahead and peel the skin off like I already did here, and we'll take our grater and grate down that 1 inch piece.
I wish everybody could smell it. It just smells so good.
Ginger is one of the things, and you'll probably know this, in first trimester, if you're pregnant, was one of the best things for me to relieve nausea.
Yep.
I would just put a little in my water, grind it up.
Ginger tea.
Ginger tea.
Yeah, and it's all natural. It's no drugs, and it helps with nausea and pregnancy. So yeah, it's really good. Good for you and good.
So we're gonna go ahead and take about 3/4 of this piece of ginger and put it into our burgers, and then we're gonna save the last quarter for our ginger mayo sauce. This is a tricky.
Just like looking at all the flavors that are here, like wasabi and ginger, and it's delicious.
All right, we're gonna call that good. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and take, so the recipe that we'll post uses tamari, which is a dark soy sauce, and I like giving people options. So I have coconut aminos, which is something that you could sub if you have an allergy to soy, and you can just sub it the exact same. So 3 tablespoons of tamari, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce.
I'm gonna have you stand a little bit closer to me because I think we're losing you a little bit on one of the videos. So we do want Rachel in the video. And I say this every time. I've learned so much from you. Like, I had no idea about that. And I love how you make all the little substitutions to make it healthier and more natural and less, like you said, corn syrup and things. So it's great.
Yeah, and we adapted this recipe from Rachael Ray, who is both of our favorite cooks.
Yes.
And so this recipe was originally started by her, and then we just kind of made our own healthy twist to it. So switching out a few of the ingredients can make a big difference.
So this comes from her book, 30-Minute Meals. Shout out to Rachael Ray. Maybe one day she'll have us on her show.
We'll tag her in this video.
Let's tag her because we love her. She seriously taught me how to cook. Love that book.
And then we went ahead and added about 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of flour. You can use any flour. This is just gonna kind of help bind it together.
So you're choosing to use oat flour.
Yes, so oat flour is gonna be the least processed of the flours.
That's so good.
Yeah,
that's really key. And when I talk to my patients about nutrition, I always talk about eating unprocessed foods. And it's hard to do. It's really hard to do.
It is really hard to do. But they're coming out with easier ways to do it. It's just really about, I like to tell my clients, staying on the outside of the grocery store. That's the easiest way to put it.
So the outside, like the fruits, vegetables?
The outside perimeter. So your fruits and vegetables, and then you have your proteins, usually in the back, and then your dairy if you eat dairy. And then we're gonna go ahead and just put in about 2 teaspoons of a steak seasoning. You can use any seasoning. And if you wanna substitute a steak seasoning, you can always just season with salt and pepper as well. So we'll throw that in. More garlic. And
so if you're interested in avoiding processed foods, just watch these videos because you have so many good ideas. I love it.
Yeah. And again, with the oat flour, you could, if you want to be a super person, super healthy, you can always grab oats, which would be the gold standard, and then go ahead and grind them up yourself.
Wow.
But that takes
time.
That takes time. All right, so we're going to go ahead and mix up our burgers. We have all our ingredients in here. And if you do notice that they aren't sticking together very well, you can always add in an egg, which is something that I usually do. I did forget to grab an egg.
I can grab one.
We're gonna go ahead and grab an egg for these. Add in extra omega-3s and extra protein. Perfect. Do you want to go ahead and crack it in?
Okay, you're trusting me?
Yes.
I don't know. All right.
Beautiful. There we
Good
go.
job.
All right, so we'll mix that in. And then this is where it gets messy, is when you're gonna make these into patties. It smells good.
No worries.
All
We
right.
have dogs. The little bit that fell on the floor, they'll clean it up for me.
All right, so we have our burgers mixed in, and we're gonna go ahead and heat about 2 teaspoons of oil on our pan. And you can use any oil. You can use your sesame oil that you have out already. You could use an olive oil or an avocado oil are gonna be the best options.
Can you start it or you got it?
Yeah, we can go ahead and start it up.
Medium?
Medium high. Yeah,
Medium
that's
high. Okay.
All right, so while that's heating up, I'm gonna go ahead and form these burgers into patties, and this is where I said it gets pretty messy.
Should I help you with this?
Do you want to help? Yeah, let's take your rings off
Yep,
for
everybody
this
take your rings
one.
off. You don't want salmon in the little crevices next to your little jewels or gems.
My rings get so dirty from cooking. All right, so we're using about 2 pounds of meat, which is gonna probably form into 6 patties, but you just wanna take about half of a cup of your meat mixture and then form it into a ball.
Not much or a little more?
A little more. And then we'll
that
press
look?
it down. Yeah, these are sticking pretty well.
Yeah, thanks
And
to
we'll
that
go ahead
egg.
and put them on our,
Yeah, there we go. Okay,
there we go.
keep going.
Yep.
I actually really like using my hands, you know, like when I cook, they work so well.
They do. It makes it,
the best utensil.
and they make all these fancy gadgets that try to take the place of your hands and are expensive, and in the end, this right here is the best.
That's right.
Same with when I make cookies. You know, they have
Yes.
those fancy scoopers, but I
Yep.
always just end up using my hands.
Sometimes I find when I make cookies or make patties like this, I start off and I have one size, and as I keep making them, they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And then I spend some time like moving a little bit from here to here, and it's just silly. So I guess that's where like those little scoopers that measure it
They
out
make it
exactly.
equal.
Yeah.
And then you will have some uneven chunks in your mixture, and that's fine. Just go ahead and press it in.
The smell, I'm telling you, if only it could travel into your phone, because it's just
Sesame's really-
delicious.
Yeah. We
We
got
got one more, two more?
Two more?
Two more. Then we'll both have to disappear off screen and wash our hands. After.
yeah.
Put them in there. It's a little messy.
I don't know if my video started. I guess it did. All right. I'm gonna step off to wash my hands real quick. This mic.
I'm just going to move this one up a little bit and make a little bit more room here. Yummy. I really like this recipe. I've had it before and it's so good.
Have you?
Yeah. I just love wasabi.
I love sushi, so I'm sure I'll love these. All right.
We'll have to make sushi one time.
I love making sushi, and there are ways to make sushi healthier, so we can definitely do that. That would be a good summer recipe.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and place our burgers into our pan, and that, you wanna hear that sizzle. That means that your oil is hot enough. If you don't hear that, I would let it heat up a little bit more, because that's gonna give it the nice crunchy base that you want. And we're gonna go ahead and time these for about 4 minutes per side. If you like your salmon a little more rare, you can do a little less. We'll probably have to do 2 batches here. We got a lot of burgers. All right.
Can't wait to taste them. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, evorawomen.com, and you can get the recipe and all like the changes that we made that Rachel recommended. Just sign up for my newsletter and we'll send it off to you.
You will want this recipe.
Yes.
All right, so the last thing that we have while those are cooking is we're gonna make the wasabi ginger mayo sauce. And so you're gonna do about half a cup of mayo to about 3/4 cup. I would go on the lighter end, so about half a cup we did. And I chose an avocado-based oil because most mayonnaises are created using a sunflower oil or a canola oil, which are high omega-6 oils, so they're very inflammatory oils. And avocado oil is not, so that's a great substitute. And then also on that note, this Rachael Ray's original recipe called for wasabi paste, and when you go to the grocery store, wasabi paste has sugar in it, and then it also has sorbitol, which is another name for sugar. So when we were creating this recipe, we tried to create it as healthy as possible. So what I found is the best option is to go to the store and look for wasabi powder. And then you just mix that with water until it forms into a paste. And that is just the wasabi. It has some spirulina. That's pretty much it. And it looks like spirulina is a green vegetable, I think, like a kale. Okay. So we did about 2 tablespoons of that, and we're gonna go ahead and scoop it into our mayo. So much less process doing it this way. And you might have to actually go look. I found mine at a local like global food store. I'm sure Amazon would have a wasabi powder. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and mix that in. Or a Thrive Market. I love Thrive.
What's Thrive?
You ever done Thrive? So it's like an online Amazon, but for healthy food. So like all of my oils I get from there, all of my flours. It's really great.
Should I flip them or not yet?
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and flip them? And then I'm going to go ahead and finish off our sauce with 1 lime. And we'll just go ahead and squeeze the juice into our... And then again, this is one of those things where they have the fancy juice presses, and I just end up always using my hands to squeeze it out. And then we'll go ahead and mix that in. And there is our sauce. How are the burgers coming along?
They look good.
Oh, they do look good. They smell good too. So we're just gonna go ahead and let those cook for probably about, they look like they're cooking fast. So
they are, I think.
3 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
On that side. And then we have our sauce. And then for burgers like these, I always like to serve them over like a bib lettuce. You could do a romaine lettuce for your bun. Or you could do half of a bun. And then kind of leave it as an open-faced burger. Those are going to be your healthier options.
So when it comes to like bread and buns, are there any, like how would you recommend that people pick their breads and buns? What do you look for when you're trying to find something healthy?
I would say the easiest way is to look for the least amount of ingredients as possible. So if you're gluten-free, choosing a gluten-free bread, but looking for the least amount of ingredients. And then again, making sure I like choosing organic versions just because if it is a rice-based flour, rice has been shown to have a lot of pesticides in it, one of the highest rates. So even your brown rice, and I could go off on a tangent so I won't, but your rices that you buy in general, just choosing an organic versions is one of the best investments that you can make because they do go heavy on the pesticides when growing it.
So where would you find like organic rice in a regular supermarket? I wouldn't even know what to look for.
Usually supermarkets now have an organic aisle that you can find it in, or even now they're like mixed in with the, I'm gonna go ahead and, with the regular rices. Because more people are demanding it now, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right, could you grab me a plate?
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and scoop these on.
I think they're done.
Let's see. I think those are done. We can cut into one. Maybe a little more. It's cooking pretty hot. We'll let them cook a couple more minutes. And feel free, I always just cut into one burger to see if it's done. And salmon, another thing that I learned is, if we were watching this more closely, before you flip your salmon burger, you would want to make sure it cooks halfway up. So it would be halfway that dark pink and then halfway the lighter pink showing it's cooked, and then you would flip it and then cook the other half. So salmon's actually a really good one to know when it's done because you can see it kind of go up, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
Does it?
Kind of like a thermometer. You can.
Yeah, you can see it. It's great. Actually, one of my chefs taught me that, and I was like, wow, that is fascinating.
So what other fish do you like to make?
I honestly really just salmon, and even with our clients, mostly just salmon, because other types of fish with what we do, they just don't last in a fridge. So we're mostly meal prepping, and salmon's a pretty hearty fish, and you can reheat it, you can eat it the next day, whereas like a shrimp or a whitefish when you put it back in the microwave or reheat it, it's not gonna taste the same. It'll get a little more rubbery when it's reheated. So we really just kind of work off of salmon for the most part.
Yeah, we do a lot of blackened salmon.
Oh, that's
so just with blackened seasoning, like we get a big long salmon, just season it and put it in the oven. And the one thing about salmon is that it cooks quickly. You don't have to cook it for hours and hours.
That is very true.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Go ahead and
think they're ready. Maybe.
I think they've got to be ready. We'll cut into them. Yeah, those look pretty good.
They look good. You can just see like the steam rising off them.
All right.
And I'll grab a fork or two.
I'm going to go ahead and throw the rest of these on real quick. It smells good. I saw today actually, someone was cooking a long strip of salmon and they cut it into 3 parts and they braided it. Have you ever seen that?
No.
I thought that would be a great, kind of like put it on a charcuterie board and then people could pick at it for like and it was really pretty, which we all love pretty dishes.
Yep, you eat with your eyes.
Yeah.
So wait, so tell me how you braid salmon. Like, how does it not fall apart?
So you buy it in the long strip, kind of like we had before I chopped it all up. And then you have them skin it. So that's another point. I had the butcher skin my salmon, so I don't have to do that. And they're really great at it. So feel free to ask them questions. They're so knowledgeable, and I don't think people know that, or we're afraid to ask, what's the best way to cook this? So sometimes I'll just go to the butcher and be like, how do you cook salmon? And they have great tips. But you would skin it, and then they cut it into 3 strips long ways, and then they braided it and baked it. Okay, or you could throw it on the grill.
So what show is this on?
I guess it started on TikTok, and I'm sure your daughter knows TikTok, so you could ask her, because my sister's a big TikToker. She's in college. And so I'm not on TikTok, but that's, I guess, where it started.
Wow.
And it went viral, and now everyone's making braided salmon.
Very cool. One other little thing before we taste it, I know I'm like dying to taste it, but if you live here in St. Louis and you shop at Schnucks, they will cook your fish for you while you shop. And so we do that a lot, just, because we're busy.
Yeah, I've done that.
And it's just the most convenient thing ever. I don't know why Schnucks doesn't do that with their other meats and things, but they do it with the fish, which I love.
I love that. I've done that. Deerbergs does that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they kind of copy off of each other.
Yeah, that little
competition
between the two.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip these, and then we can try our burgers while these finish up. There we go. All right. Do you want to go ahead and...
Yeah.
So we are going to take a little bit of our sauce, and if you were using a bun, you could spread the sauce over the bun, or you can just dribble it on top of the burger.
For you.
Oh, thank you.
I love our Sunday cooking shows because I don't have to make dinner.
I know.
This will do it.
And we have leftovers. Little.
Oh gosh, it just drizzles. It just drizzles right over the salmon and looks so good.
So when did you make this last?
Oh gosh, I don't know. So I don't know, probably a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, but I've had the book forever. Since
Yeah.
like before you could do Facebook Lives, like I was making this recipe.
Wow.
So yeah, probably like early 2000s even. I know.
It's a good one.
I'm gonna taste it.
That is a great recipe. I love
The
that.
wasabi. Oh, so good.
Wow, that is really good. Okay,
We'll do
everyone
this again.
needs to go ahead and subscribe. Go to the Perfect Fit website, go to Evora's website because you need this recipe.
EvoraWomen.com. We personalize medicine to you. We spend time with you. I know I sound like such a commercial, but it's so true. I just love that I'm able to take care of the whole picture. Nutrition, exercise, everything. It's just lovely.
You should sound like a commercial because I feel like a lot of people don't know that this even exists. Like a lot of people don't know that there's nutrition companies out there that will come and cook in your home and prepare your meals for the week. And healthcare's changing, nutrition's changing, and we are just trying to be at the forefront and tell everyone about our services.
I sent somebody to you the other day, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Awesome.
I know. She was
we
like,
can't-
oh, if only somebody could make my meals. I'm like, wait a minute.
There is someone out there that does that. Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. We do this once a month. If you have any recommendations or fun things you want us to cook or make, just send it to me via email on my website, EvoraWomen.com. And we look forward to hearing from each and every one of you.
Bye.
Bye.